Hey, fellow horror fans. Welcome to the Fear Central Radio Show. I am your host, Mike, and joining me this week...
Purple.
Blue. Yellow.
Red.
All right, so we now have Skittles.
Taste the rainbow.
Too bad that shit don't work, though.
Oh,
I like
my.
that song. It's a good song.
My.
Lord.
So we are here again this week, and this time we are doing a review of a film.
Watch
So
it.
I wouldn't know if we call it a watch review because we all watched it separately.
We did kind of watch it separately.
Yeah.
So
I've
normally
only-
our watch reviews is we watch it and then go right into the show.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but with...
And we haven't talked in depth about this. So we'll
we
get
have
to
not, so guess what?
Yeah.
Argument time.
Yeah.
Right? Here we go.
Ba-dum-ba-dum.
So this week we are talking The Possession
Of
of Hannah Grassi.
Hannah Grassi.
Degrassi?
Yes,
Grazie.
Degrassi.
That's a horror movie in itself.
Right?
Getting ready for possession of Hannah
Degrassi,
Grace, the
Shark
next
Attack.
generation.
But The Possession of Hannah Grace that came out,
This
This
past
year.
yeah, was it
It was
It was
last
2018.
2018.
2018.
towards the end, like
Yeah.
Autopsy Jane
It
Doe, right?
just-
in
it-
December?
Yeah, it's
November 30th.
Oh, okay.
it's the
So,
last month and a half it hit digital and
Yeah.
disc.
Right.
Yes, yes, it did.
Anybody want to give just general first thoughts?
Would you like me to read the synopsis
Let's
first?
go with the synopsis first, yes.
Okay. When a cop who is just out of rehab takes the graveyard shift in a city hospital morgue, she faces a series of bizarre, violent events caused by an evil entity in one of the corpses.
Oh.
Wait, how did that word that again?
Evil entity.
Okay, evil entity in one of the corpses, not
Yes.
violent events in one of the corpses.
No, it
No,
said
it was violent
a
events.
series of bizarre, violent events caused by an evil entity in one of the corpses.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
I missed the comments.
You missed the causal.
So basically, everybody who thought you were safe when you were dead, you're fucked.
Oh, no.
No.
Not everybody comes back.
No.
Sometimes they come back.
It's not
Again.
the
Again.
necrophilia of Hannah Grace. It's
Well, no, I mean, generally, everybody's like, hey, when you're dead, you can't get, possessed. And
well,
Yeah, but she starts out
But-
possessed.
but
You
Start
watch
out possessed.
Supernatural.
So we already learned about that, but from Jane Doe, though.
yeah.
Yeah, but
Sure.
she
Yeah.
started out possessed. So it wasn't
Yeah.
like she was dead and then became possessed. She started out possessed and they killed her.
So she might not have died.
But I don't think she was fully dead because if you watch the beginning, after he smothers,
Yeah. There will be spoilers, by the way.
there will be spoilers.
Oh, yes.
Sorry.
We'll always spoil.
Well, we're not
If-
really spoiling anything major, and this is the first.
No.
scene.
It's
Yeah.
like the very first scene. If you watch after he smothers her, all you see is her hand on the bed and it twitches.
Yeah. a little
So
bit.
she's not dead.
Yeah. And she doesn't
Or
lose a whole lot of...
is she?
she doesn't
Or the
become
spirits.
discolored either.
Or it's just that the spirit's not dead.
Yeah.
Right.
No.
Because, if she had died, she would have started discoloring from the pool of blood.
Right.
So the elephant.
I
in
think
the-
an evil spirit's having its way with Heather right now.
Oh, I have a cramp in my foot.
Foot cramp?
I have my foot cramp.
Ghostbusters style.
At a loss for words.
That's odd.
I know. I'm never at a loss for words. Paul does that to me sometimes.
Yeah.
He has a way.
Will you stop being encouraging over there? God.
Now you sound like my teachers.
No, don't encourage him. Don't encourage him. You're incorrigible.
I'm not doing anything. I'm just the one being jumped on.
You
At least
get-
it's not
Ghostbusters
Cooper.
style.
Yeah, you getting jumped?
I'm getting jumped over here. Oh. At least it's not Cooper doing it.
It's fine, audience. It's dogs.
Yeah, it's
It's
just
dogs.
dogs.
Yeah.
That does not make it better.
Sure, it's fine. It's fine.
Heather's getting dog jumped.
Heather is not getting dog jumped. Heather's getting jumped on by a dog.
Possessed dog,
Baby Cujo over here.
right? So yeah, evil entities causing violent, bizarre events.
So the elephant in the room is, especially with the name of this movie being "The Possession of Hannah Grace,"
Hannah.
if you watch the trailers, it really reminds you of the Autopsy of Jane Doe.
Very much. Yeah.
Yes.
The
That
trailer,
was
the
feel I
first
got.
thing
Yeah.
I saw whenever I saw any trailers for this, it reminded me of that.
Yeah.
Then you watch the movie, and the first scene reminds you of the exorcism of Emily Rose.
I was
A
thinking
lot.
the same thing. Yeah.
It's like they took a bunch of exorcism movies and here we're just going to roll
Especially-
all this shit in one.
I will
and I've
say-
never
Isn't that how House of a Thousand Corpses started out too? They just decided to cut all the bad B movies and throw it together.
God, I love that movie. I ain't even gonna lie.
that,
I ain't even gonna lie. I love that,
that movie is a scrapbook of other movies.
Yeah,
It is.
Yes.
Yes.
It's
I
an American
personally-
horror quilt.
I personally think the best death scene was in the opening.
The smothering.
The priest.
The
The
priest.
first priest.
The
With the
priest.
stupidest design I've ever seen for any church.
Yeah.
Your cross that spiky.
It's like, so yeah,
No crucifix ever has a crown so spiky.
yeah. The crown of thorns on the crucifix, like Jesus has spikes that stick out about 7 or 8 inches.
Yeah, they were pretty large.
Cujo is not taking direction.
Cujo is just all over the place.
You want to get them on the table?
Because that's where he's headed.
That's where he's like, okay, Dad.
Okay.
I don't
Okay.
know how I'm going to get there, but okay, Dad. On the table it is.
Moving on from the dogs who are crazy today.
Yes.
So, what I was looking for them in the movie when I first started watching it was for it to distance itself in any way, and
It didn't.
the setting is a little different in that it's a city, not a small town morgue. So, like when they introduce you to her routine, it's not the same as it is in the Autopsy of Jane Doe, because Autopsy of Jane Doe is all the scientific side,
Yeah,
just
'cause
like
it's-
the autopsy.
That one
But-
is just the father and son in their own.
Well, it's
little
also the morticians
family mortuary.
and this disgraced cop is a
What's the word?
intake.
Mortuary.
Mortuary.
I could
Mortuary.
not get that out. A little too much vodka in my juice.
How much Heather juice have you had?
I don't want
Is
to
that a
talk about
heavy
it.
drink?
Yes.
Oh, so it's like a quadruple. Okay.
Yeah.
So, the runtime on this movie is about 85 minutes.
I think it was 85, 89, somewhere in there.
I think
It was
I
real
think
close
I think
to-
the credit.
no,
I think-
it was-
I think-
86.
Yeah, I think when the credits
yeah?
go, it's like 83 or 84 minutes. It's a good runtime for what it is.
Yeah.
If it looks interesting to you, my hesitant recommendation is the setting's decent. It's got some creepy atmosphere. It's not going to be original.
No.
No,
at all.
not even.
It is a regurgitation of a few.
The best part of it kind of creeps me out if we want to get into some uncomfortable discussion is in the casting of Hannah Grace herself,
Yeah.
Kirby Johnson.
because she's a classically trained dancer and contortionist.
She can contort.
She looks about 12 years old. And
She does.
she
And I
does.
think that's...
And her father is a big part of the movie, which only reinforces that. And she is nude for quite a bit of the movie.
Yes. Although
Doing contortion
they did
acts, and I'm just
very
like,
well,
this
to
is,
kind of keep certain parts hidden.
Yeah, because they got burn makeups and
Yeah.
shadow the rest of the time.
Yeah, pretty much.
But it still
It made
makes
Paul
me
very uncomfortable
very
watching
uncomfortable.
it. Very uncomfortable.
You should have watched him squirm.
It was awesome.
And you didn't have that issue with Jane Doe?
She didn't
No,
look
she
like she was
didn't.
12.
That's true.
Absolutely
That
did
is true.
not.
She didn't look like she was
Yeah,
a
she
12-year-old.
definitely did not look like she was 12.
Shut up.
Yeah,
Mike.
she was like
No, I mean if you want a similar experience, what is it? 300. The scene with the creepy old men and the dancing oracle.
Oh, the
yeah,
oracle.
that reminded me like that. Yeah, that's a good parallel.
She looked older than the girl in The Last Exorcism.
Okay, yeah,
She looked way younger.
I love that movie
It was a
though.
great movie.
she still
Second
looked like
one,
a
not so much.
teenager though. Definitely a teenager.
Okay, so we'll start with biases. What does everybody feel about possession movies or exorcism movies? Are they something you like, something you look forward to, or just kind of eh?
I'm just not a big. I'm not a big fan. I'm so far away from my mic.
You are.
Point it down a little more.
There you go.
I'm just not a big, humongous fan of possession movies because they all seemed like this one was mirror image of this. I mean, it was like a modge podge of all these different possession movies.
Right.
It was different when you watch like The Exorcist.
Yes.
Because that was, one of the first ones that you saw, and you
Right.
see this, and it was definitely terrifying for when it came out. This, had some creepy moments and some kind of jumpy scare things, but I mean, it wasn't anything new. I want to see something new.
I think as the more that they come out, you really lose the realism that you had in the original Exorcist,
Right.
Because the Exorcist had that was what I feel was its biggest. What's the word I'm looking for? I don't even know what I'm looking for.
Attribute?
But probably
Strength.
attribute, where it looked like it was plausible in the real world.
Random fuck for the audience.
Random book for the audience. Oh, now we got cat issues.
Yep, we got cat and we got dog issues.
The
tonight.
animals have just taken over.
Get your pussy out the bar.
So
You're good.
Okay.
I hope not.
One of the big scenes that I had an issue with in this one was when Megan got put in the cold freeze.
okay, yeah.
I would have not expected it to be completely open
Yeah.
to all the other bodies.
Right?
That's
I
not how
figured
they
it was
look.
more like a cylinder
that's
with
how they.
walls.
That's how they're supposed to look.
Exactly.
Just
Where
one
this
opening.
looked like it was like, the framing in between the walls.
It kind of reminded me of the Cube,
a little bit, yeah.
where you like get slid in, and all of a sudden there's like all these other things.
Yeah.
And you're like,
Mhm.
it's- yeah.
So to me, I was like, that doesn't make a lot of sense.
Well, it kind of does because you would have to have individual refrigeration systems for every single unit. If, like, every single cube, if you didn't have it open. So it makes sense
So
for it to
could-
be open.
Could just be rolling shelves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
And you're not worried about cross contamination at
Nah,
that point.
Damn, Dave.
So-
the one thing I'll concede is I can get behind that, but to concede Mike's point, still you didn't see her get out of that drawer, go into the drawer above it, and
Yeah.
then go to grab.
No.
Yeah.
So
yeah, you didn't.
So she still wouldn't have been able to get around.
No.
them
No.
in there, but
She just was lucky enough to not have a tray in the thing above her.
Yeah.
So she could move.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And then poor Dave.
Yeah, poor Dave.
the one that everyone loved.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't
I-
that how it
Why
always
is
goes?
that?
Well, yeah, like Dave, the
Because they
security
catch you
guard,
in the
was
fields.
everybody's favorite in this
That's
movie. Where's Dave? Have you seen Dave?
Well,
Who's Dave?
Where's Dave? Dave's missing too.
Dave with his sweet afro.
Of course, I'm an old man, so as soon as I heard Dave, I was like, Dave's not here.
I did it too.
Yeah, you did.
I did.
Yeah, you did.
It's like, and I was like, man, Chong, the security guard, is needed in horror movies.
Right? That would have been great if that had been
Coming off the
other
Masked
one.
Singer, he's got a new career coming up.
Yeah, there you go. Dave's not here.
So when Katie and I were talking about this movie, and I think the most interesting thing is, you want to talk about your feelings on possession movies first?
Well, I love possession movies, but they creep me the heck out.
why?
Well, I grew up in a mindset in which it was a very real possibility.
Yeah.
I was exposed to stories. People I knew experienced these happenings.
You
And-
also might want to preface that by saying you were.
I grew up in a cult. So
Yeah.
let's put that out there.
I was trying to be nice.
No, I'll say it. But very conservative Christian atmosphere, and it was a very real possibility that I have always thought I knew things about. So whenever you think you have all the rules figured out, it makes the movies very interesting, because then you have to figure out how other people interpret the rules.
Right.
I just looked it up. Sorry. I just looked it up. They are each individual areas. They're not one
Interesting.
open. I looked it.
That's
I found a
expensive.
catalog.
Yeah.
So
Because there is
Well, I guess
a
if
lot of it
There
has to do
is
with
bacteria and stuff that
Yeah.
can,
Well,
even
yeah,
though
but, like,
it's
once-
sub-zero
because
temperatures,
they're-
can still filtrate into
yeah,
other bodies.
because
Right, but
you
we're
also
not-
have to realize they haven't been embalmed yet.
Yeah.
Right.
So you still got
Right,
the
but we're also
decomposing
not
going
looking
on.
at living beings. So,
True.
like, we're not talking about, like, well, this
Bacteria.
person
But there is
had
bacteria.
this person had influenza, so you
Yeah.
have to make sure that this person
Well,
doesn't get
she's
Well,
saying
doesn't
that
get
you
it.
don't worry
So,
about them
No,
getting
no, no.
sick.
we're not talking about people getting sick or anything like
Right.
that. We're talking about preventing
No, I am
the
not
living
okay.
population from coming in contact with those bodies to keep them from getting.
I'll show you in a minute too.
what
from having issues with the
They're
bacteria and
stock
that kind of thing.
Morgue pictures, and
Yeah.
they're not.
fake.
No, and it's not okay. I'm not okay. I'm not okay.
That's not how the song goes.
I don't care.
Honey, most of these aren't in here. They're
I know.
not USA.
I know. I know.
in-
That's why it makes me so uncomfortable.
Well, you also understand back in the day when the
I know.
temperatures dipped and there
I
was no
know.
room in the morgue, they would store it in the local restaurant.
Did you
Which
know?
we'll
Yep.
get into in our next couple of episodes.
They also in Miami during the cocaine wars, they used a refrigerated Burger King truck.
Yep.
To store
Yep.
bodies. Just
Yep.
so you
Oh,
know.
yeah.
Okay.
It was very uncomfortable.
So
I'm going to uncomfortable
okay.
everybody here.
anyway,
Well,
you were
okay.
Sorry,
so,
I'm so sorry.
But this is a really interesting view of a possession movie because it is not hyper religious. In fact, it's not religious at all.
No.
It is neutered of all religiosity.
which does set it apart from a lot of the others because a lot of the others are very religious based.
Right. Actually, most
Yeah.
are religious based.
90% of them are
Yeah,
religious
and the
based.
highly religious. So they
People-
have all the rules.
Well, okay, but
Yeah.
you got to think about it like this. People seem to think that if you're not religious, then you won't get possessed. But the real hard truth is anybody can be possessed.
Yeah,
There's-
that's what
it
I had
doesn't
always
matter if
bel-
you're
I had
freaking
always been
religious
taught
or if you're
or been
non-religious.
taught.
It's like death and taxes. They don't care. They're going to get you.
Just
Right.
don't let me get
The-
possessed by the
but-
Scientology demons.
But the interesting thing about Possession of Hannah Grace specifically is like it's almost like the writer and director didn't want to offend anybody by even chancing religion
Yeah.
in this.
That's why you only
Have
have
you
at the
taken
very
a look
beginning.
around
Well-
today? I mean, just
Yeah.
about you breathe in the wrong direction and somebody gets offended.
I
Here's
know,
the fun part: is
but-
they did
but-
offend people because here's what they did. Instead of making it religious, they made it where these people who are being affected are weak.
Yeah.
And their weakness is mental illness.
Again.
Flippin' mental illness.
or
Breathe,
Depression
Katie,
and anxiety.
And-
Katie,
and
breathe.
addiction.
Y'all
What?
aren't seeing
And
this,
addiction.
but
Yeah. And
there's a vein about to pop off her
it's
head.
always that way. But
I love you.
But it's just an issue. It's like suddenly it is completely okay to make all to paint all like here's the thing. 60% of society has a mental illness, whether it's anxiety or depression or bipolar disorder or something like that. Even if it
children.
is untreated or it is undiagnosed. People struggle with it. And whenever you start labeling people, people don't seek help. Whenever you say this person's weak because they have this problem, they don't seek the
But
help
isn't
they
it
need.
human nature
Heather, you
to,
okay over there?
if somebody does not fit
I'm good.
into the box
Okay.
that
I
you
thought you were over there crying. I was like, what the hell?
define as
My
human?
nose is running.
I mean,
Well, yeah, but that's what they're doing is they're telling them they're not human.
but society in general is like that.
Yeah, but that's the issue.
What is the first thing you do when you see a spider on the wall? You squish it. Same thing with human
Not
beings.
you.
If
You
they do
scream and go,
not,
"Honey."
if
I was
they
just
do
gonna say,
not,
that's not me. I don't kill it. Chad.
if people do not fit into their perfect image or mold, then
I'm saying that's
you
the
are
issue.
considered
But here
the
we're
weak.
putting actual targets on people.
It's been like that for years and decades.
I understand that. But
Darling.
this is
I
like
think, I think what's interesting though is that it's a scapegoating in horror, which horror is traditionally the genre of people that feel disaffected, disenfranchised,
Inclusivity.
The
and suddenly
ones
we
that don't
have
fit in the
Bird
boxes.
Box, and we have what
Hey,
was
Heather.
that other one we watched?
Well,
What
you
studio put
have
this film
the
out?
witch persecutions and the autopsy of Jane Doe. I mean, you have basically like 13 Ghosts. The main guy that sees the ghosts, he's got issues of mental illness, but yet that's why he can see them. And so there's a point where he even stipulates, he goes, I should never stop taking my medication. And then he stopped, tries
Right.
to take it. And the guy's like, no, because I need you. So, I mean, I understand on one situation where, it is kind of freaking a sorry ass excuse for calling people weak.
Well, it's
But unfortunately, it's kind of been that way throughout history.
Well, I get that, but why is it that that's okay? That
It's not okay. It never has been.
we're accepting that in a genre that is about inclusivity, and because we had that in Bird Box, we had that in what was the other one that we watched?
you keep saying that. I don't know what the other
It was the other one that we reviewed.
It was like the Bird Box. It was
it was just like it.
shit.
But it
Silent
was also
or something like that, or
We're talking A Quiet Place.
yeah.
Yeah.
No,
That
Quiet
was-
Place didn't-
But it wasn't specifically about mental illness. That was about that was about disability. So
You asked the production company.
Yeah.
It was Screen Gems. That was
Okay.
distributed by Sony.
Does it list
Yeah.
the budget there?
It was a $6 to $7.7 million budget, and it box office for $41.5 million.
So
Okay.
technically a low budget film.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I was wondering if it was one of the bigger budgeted films, why the studios might have gone with the whole let's try and be less offensive to everybody,
Right.
Well,
while
and-
intending to not offend anybody, they end up offending people.
Okay, well, here's part of why it seems that way.
But it wasn't independent, which is also
No.
why you have your
Okay.
restrictions.
So apparently, the reason the film was actually shot and finished in November of 2016.
Okay.
But apparently, they had a change in management, and the management made them go back and redo
Certain
change
scenes, yeah.
a bunch of scenes in it. So in some places where it does feel kind of disjointed, that's probably why.
Probably.
But
You're never gonna know the full-
But luckily, he had
I'm
shot
betting
enough
that-
material.
I'm betting
he
that
was
ending
able
minute
to.
is different.
I bet it
Yeah.
was. Yeah.
If I have anything that I do not like about this movie, it is that ending minute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It,
Yeah.
like you could have just ended this movie because like the majority of the movie is like you have the exorcism, then a credit sequence, then it's her on a job interview, and then it's all in one night.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
could just end it with her like got the blanket around her and like
Yeah.
being attended to.
Yeah.
And it's just like
But it did not end that way. They said that in the original script that the morgue was supposed to be much smaller, but he rewrote it to be bigger and emptier and scarier with the automatic, and also added the automatic lights, which the automatic lights was creepy to me because it was so dark, and then all of a sudden you walk in and boom, the lights are on.
Yeah.
But what made it weird for me was it was supposed to be Boston.
Yeah.
Boston.
I thought it was it Boston? I thought it was Chicago.
No.
no,
it was
Boston.
Boston or Baltimore. It was a
But
B.
what killed me it was Boston something hospital or whatever.
Okay.
Anyways, what I found odd about it, it was Boston.
Yeah.
Was that there was only like 2 bodies in the morgue.
Yeah,
Yeah.
in Boston.
in Boston. Like, I thought, why are there
Must
not
have been
more
a slow
bodies?
night.
Yeah, she
But,
should be busy.
But, I mean,
as an
she should
intake
be
coordinator.
super busy. But then again, she wouldn't be the only one there.
No,
Well, I
she
mean,
would-
you don't know what's in the rest of the drawers. But yes, there's only 2 that come in the intake. On the
Which is
on
kind
that.
of odd
when
all
she
night.
gets trapped in there and she looks around. There's only the
There's
two
only
bodies
the
she
2
took
bodies.
in the drawers.
Yes.
Yeah.
Remember, she gets trapped in there and she's looking around. And we talked about the open space.
She sees.
Right.
She sees. There was
There's only
3
the-
because there's the
Well, there was
Hannah
Dave.
Grace and Dave. Poor Dave.
and then the dude that she took in
Yeah.
earlier that night,
Yeah,
or
the old
day
man.
before, yeah.
yeah.
But
Hashtag
Is-
save Dave.
all right, I don't know if the movie ever addressed it or anything like that. Did you think there was some part of consumption in her healing stuff? Like when she killed
Little bit.
people, do you think she was eating anyone or anything?
I don't know. I don't know. It felt very much like that.
Kind
like,
of, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
I mean,
I-
maybe she wasn't like consuming them like physically. Maybe she was
More
like,
like a
Figured it was a
sucking
life
their
force
soul out.
psychic
thing.
vampire kind of thing.
yeah,
Yeah.
sucking the life force out of them.
No.
Yeah.
Effects on Hannah herself were pretty good.
Yeah.
Not bad.
They
I
were.
like there's a neck serrated. There's a gaping
Flap.
neck wound.
She has a neck flap.
thing going. That is
And
pretty good.
On the thigh.
What's not good? CG fire.
Yes.
Oh my
That
gosh,
was
it
my
was
biggest issue with the
awful.
Is the CG fire? Yeah.
CG
My
fire looks somehow worse than the Silent Hill movie.
Yeah.
It was. Yeah. I
But
think.
my biggest issue with the film is her shoving Hannah Grace in there and,
And-
not getting burned
Burned
herself.
herself.
Yeah.
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 Well, they had already set up that you could get really close to that fire and it wouldn't hurt you earlier in the movie
Yeah.
too.
Just- but
I was like, wait a minute. And for one, who left the fire on?
It's
It's
also-
computer controlled.
Right.
It's also not exactly how you load anything.
Technical difficulties.
Right. That's not
Hey,
how a
I'm a
crematorium
filmmaker
works.
and I'm-
And there wouldn't
I'm
be a
gonna admit
crematorium in a hospital.
I really want to go back and watch the Cinema Sins on this one. Maybe like 30 minutes long.
And what kills me is that an actual crematorium gets between 1,400 and 1,800 degrees Fahrenheit.
Yes.
You can't stand close enough to that.
Exactly.
You push. If I don't know if you've watched anything on autopsies and stuff, which I gotta admit I have.
EMT,
They put
hello.
them. They put them in there,
Learn that
and then they walk away and they close these big metal doors and then they turn it on because otherwise, I mean, just standing that close, you're going to get.
Hey, you ain't gonna have no hair.
You're not. You're going to
And
be
you're gonna have
severely
some-
burned.
It's sort of like
Flesh.
it's sort of like the movie rules of whenever you burn a trail of gas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has to touch the liquid. That's what catches on fire.
Yeah.
What about the fumes? What?
No,
The only time the fume. Yeah. No.
And you must be so many feet away when you flick the light.
Right.
Yeah.
And Mythbusters proves cigarettes do not catch gasoline on fire.
No, they do not. But yeah. So
Okay. Now moving on.
Yeah.
Sorry, I had to throw that out there. It just really pissed me off.
but the one effect that I thought that I really liked, Chris, did you watch the movie, didn't you? Oh my god, damn it, Chris. If you're gonna talk, you need to like get on it.
I'm talking about stuff that I know about.
Okay, so in the movie, I wish I could find a picture. They showed like her body after the hip healed, and it shows like the veins.
Yeah.
And it kind of
It's like
they're
like reconnecting.
super blue.
Black.
No, they were blue. They were blue.
Yeah.
Dark blue then.
Dark.
'cause they
It
look
was
black.
blue. Yeah.
Yeah.
I wanted Chris's opinion on
Well,
the veins.
the movie's in a gray filter, so
Yeah, I wanted Chris's. Let me see if I can find a picture of
And I'm-
veins.
I gotta end it with this.
Well, I mean, certain poisons can cause that kind of coloration in the
then-
veins.
But she wasn't poisoned. She was
think
possessed.
Right.
But I think the
But-
filmmakers were trying to push
Get
the
your
point
veins right,
that
They didn't know that. And besides,
as a possession,
she was
you're-
poisoned with a demon.
Exactly. I think that's what they were trying to do, is
Yeah.
saying because she was possessed, everything in her body was different. I mean, because she was physically dead.
She's in a
Right.
toxic relationship with a demon.
That's right.
Well, she
I'm
still
telling you.
had like you said, she's lots of veining even
Yeah.
as she's healing. So like,
And then they would like grow, and then they would shrink, and it was like, what was going on?
right.
Yeah.
And that was as she absorbed life forces. If you think about it,
There's part of it. You can't really see like what you definitely need to watch this movie.
Do we want to?
No. It doesn't show. It's like on her body. It's like her hip.
That was
and
Heather
her
saying that to Chris. That's
Yeah,
not
I'm
to
sorry.
the
Yeah.
audience.
yeah.
audience. Damn
We're
you!
showing
Listen.
pictures.
Watch this movie.
So there's bruising around the veins.
No, that's burns.
well, no, I'm talking about the other.
It's not bruising. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So
It's the veining
It's
itself.
the veining itself.
So
that's
in
not real
the
veins.
in the reshooting of this movie, do you think that we lost some footage with Stana Katic?
Maybe.
Probably.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
she quit Castle to
Little
do
bit.
things like this, so probably.
Yeah.
She feels real thankless in this
She
movie.
feels very out of place in this movie.
Yeah.
Like they could have just not put her in at all and it wouldn't have made one bit of difference.
Not at all.
None whatsoever.
She gets to be the third or fourth
also-
person to ask where Dave is.
Also, they could have left the ex-boyfriend cop out and it wouldn't have made a difference either.
Yeah.
They
On
need
the phone, like calling. But he didn't need to like show up time and time
No,
again.
He needed to be there at the end, though.
at the end, yes, but not the
So
first time.
therefore- but-
and then
it's
you
an
have to-
85-minute movie. They
But
needed
you
it.
have to.
because that's what pulls
No.
her out of her frozen.
Yeah, and you have
There's,
to. You
there's
have
a
to bring
sweet
that
spot for movies as far
character
as runtime.
realization in early, so people go, "Oh, this guy, yeah, okay,
Yeah.
he loves her, but he can't be with her because
Because she's an
damaged
addict,
and-
and
it's
that's
all-
not what I meant.
Yeah.
I didn't mean that he didn't need to be in the movie at all. He just didn't need to be in the movie so much because he was really an ass.
except for that was supposed to be her anchor.
Yeah, but he really wasn't.
Yeah, well,
They just-
it's also
well, he really
a
wasn't
payoff.
an ass.
Yeah.
He
I
was
don't think-
challenging
I
her
think-
because he
I
thought
think
that
I
she
just
was
didn't like him in general. I think maybe that was my problem. Like
Okay.
you didn't
Well, he
care
was a-
for Megan.
I didn't like anybody. So
Come
kinda-
on now.
kinda
Dave?
liked him-
You know,
No.
like I love Dave. Dave was awesome.
I
love
I kind
Dave.
of liked him better
Where
than
is he?
Randy. I wasn't a big fan of the Randy character.
Yeah.
It's like, hey,
What about Stana Katic?
can you come
She's
out here
there.
and help me?
She had a sandwich at
Yeah.
this
See, the one difference between you and the last guy is he'd have never come out. He was an ass.
Mm-hmm.
No, that was his job.
yeah,
Don't.
he
leave
was
the
told he
doors.
would lose his job if he
Yes.
came out here. So
Exactly, right.
I definitely didn't like Hannah's dad.
No.
Dave's name is Maximilian McNamara.
Oh.
Okay,
Nice.
so looking,
Like literally, that's his name.
looking at the makeup
Max
for
McNamara.
Hannah Grace,
Maximilian
she-
McNamara.
They did
McNamara.
They
Say it all together.
grayscaled-
That's hard to say. That's his name, Max.
is he
So
related
looking at
to
the makeup for
former-
Hannah Grace, I'm seeing that they did grayscale it a lot.
Yeah.
And one of the reasons that typically effects go darker is to pick up during the grayscaling. But in all honesty, all they had to do was do the regular veins, but make her complexion paler.
Yeah.
And it would have
have no
popped up more.
It's Cooper's fault.
Are you getting possessed over there, Heather?
Her mic is, that's for
The possession
sure.
of
There's
Heather?
Mike. That was, I don't know what happened there.
I just think they way overdid the makeup. They could have underdone it for the grayscaling technique.
I think I'll just hold the mic.
Yeah,
I
just
think
hold
you
the
should
mic.
Yeah.
Yeah, hold
My
me.
my mic stand is not cooperating.
Okay, where were we?
Oh yeah, looky there. I don't know.
Zool, stop it.
We were talking about the makeup. The makeups, first of all, the actresses are too tan.
Yeah.
If they peeled out the corpse, it would be a lot better. The burn makeup's not too bad.
But then the problem with that was most of the color correction was brought down to a dim.
right.
So even if they had gone a little brighter with the makeup, it would have still dimmed out. So it wouldn't have mattered. So
Well-
they went dim on the makeup to make it look even darker and more.
Creepy,
but-
eerie.
Yeah.
That's what they were aiming for. That's
Right.
not
The
what they got.
body itself, if you make the complexion pale and do the veins normal on a grayscale, that would pick up because blue picks up darker on grayscale than anything.
I don't know. I didn't do it. Wasn't my film. So
But the bird makeup's okay. I mean,
all right. Now that we've introduced that, or just a second ago, I got to bring that up a little bit.
what?
The drug addiction subplot.
Weakness.
Well, I mean, that's the only function it serves, because the one thing
I'm going in my bubble before
I-
Katie goes nuclear.
well, here's the thing. I can't make up my mind if it's bad or good that they didn't.
She had a drug addiction.
No, that they didn't get to a point where I expected it to go, where you go, oh, you're seeing things? Well, you're a drug addict.
Oh.
Where's your meds?
they did try that once.
They tried it
Where's your
this
stash?
much. Don't tell me
Just
you
to let
didn't
y'all know
firmly
that,
expect.
that was about a half an inch
Yeah.
finger mark he threw up there.
Right.
This is, you kind of firmly expect it. And actually, it's almost immediately railed back. That's the only thing Stana Cottage had to do.
Mm-hmm.
Is she just like comes in and is like, What? You're carrying pills?
What is this?
Oh no!
What
well,
is this?
here. Let me give you back that because I trust you. Why did you accuse her then?
Yeah,
What?
right? Let me throw down on your character only to grudgingly say I trust you.
Take them
And we
here,
will
take
now
them.
talk about the sins
No,
of a possession
no,
movie.
I trust you.
I also think the filmmaker was a huge Star Wars fan.
It-
With the amount of force lifting she was doing with everybody.
Oh,
That was crucifixing.
dude.
Force
Yeah.
crucifixion.
You're,
the
you're
arms
just saying
did
that
go
because
out
you're
every
a
time.
Every time.
It just seemed like every person she lifted came across, she had to lift them in the air, make them do the crucifixion, and then push them back to the wall or
Well, because
whatever.
that's what she did in
Yeah.
the opening scene.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
but I mean,
What's the fun in
come on.
that? I mean, if you're
give me
possessed,
some variety here.
you know,
Uh-huh. Like rip them in half or something when you do that.
You know, and
Like-
so they were a fan of Star Wars and a fan of Legion,
Right.
Because she climbed on the ceiling like Legion.
Actually,
that was- Fun.
Actually,
the only other movie that I didn't say that this reminded me of, apparently Heather has never seen it, so I'm not going to say too much about it. Exorcist 3. There is a shot. There is a shot in this movie where they do the hallway scene from Exorcist 3.
right? Yeah,
And
I forgot about that.
I love that movie.
It's a great movie.
Just a little FYI for filmmaker Mike. This is the first Sony Pictures film to be shot on a full frame mirrorless camera.
Nice.
So
Which camera?
they chose this movie.
shot it. It was primarily shot on its own A7S II, a consumer camera that cost a mere $2,000.
Yep, I've looked at that camera. I'm
Yep.
not a big Sony fan
Well, it is what it is.
because Sony's a little proprietary for me.
Okay, we won't get into that.
No,
But we
no,
will.
no, no.
But we will.
So apparently, this director is
Dutch, by the way.
from the Netherlands, and
Dutch.
he moved.
He's single?
He moved to the U.S. with his family.
he makes everyone pay with the restaurant.
Yes.
He moved from the Netherlands to the U.S. with his family so that he could direct a remake of Alfred Hitchcock's The Birds.
Yeah.
Is this James Nunn?
No, this is Diederik Van Rouge.
Yeah.
Rouge.
Diederik Van Rouge or
Sorry.
something like that.
We are
If-
butchering
We are
your
butchering
language,
it,
but that's okay.
I mean,
You could call us
there
and
was,
correct it.
if there was, well, I mean, yes, you could. And if there was like a pronunciation, what do they call the little box? What do they call that, Paul?
She's talking about
with
the
the little
parentheses
the
with
parentheses
the,
where you put where how you say it.
Quotations.
Pronunciation guide.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
Well, that's what I thought I was going with, and it did not sound correct. So, anyways, if you
Your
put that with your
internet
name,
sucks tonight.
We're overcomplicating it.
mine is working just fine. Thank you.
Okay,
You're
I
the
don't know
owner,
what y'all
so-
been drinking, but y'all need to stop.
Vodka and fruit punch.
Okay,
No
you're
sleep.
okay, but
Pepsi and
you
whiskey.
need sleep.
And podcast.
You need to chill.
Dr.
Jesus.
Pepper.
Maybe
Got
we
more-
should need some vodka in that Dr. Pepper.
Dude, there's more attitude in this room than most sororities.
What's wrong with that? I never have attitude. So.
Never.
I refer to the last
Bullshit on here.
podcast, ma'am.
right?
And the one before that.
Let's talk-
And the one before.
Depression. No.
Let's not talk depression, okay?
Did you not see her
We
vein
go down
pop
the rabbit
out?
hole with that
I'm
one.
just saying. And it's hard to drag her ass back out.
Anyways, moving on. So,
Where are we going?
opinions on the film. Good, bad, indifferent, yay, nay, thumbs up, thumb down, middle.
Eh.
Give
My
it a middle
opinions
finger.
are
I would,
indifferent.
I would say, a decent rental.
Meh.
Meh.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have paid to go to see it in the
No,
theaters.
I wouldn't have done it in the theater.
But it was meh.
If you're needing to watch a possession movie that's new, sure.
Yeah.
If you have not seen The Last Exorcism,
Autopsy of Jane Doe.
The Conjuring, let's see what other ones.
Exorcist. Prequel to The
Yeah.
The
Exorcist.
one,
I like that one too.
the one time you should watch it.
Which cut of it?
Oh, I don't know.
There's two.
I've only seen it like twice, so
See,
probably the theater.
the first time I watched
well, one's
this,
called Dominion and the other one's
That's
called
one.
The Exorcist: The Beginning.
Dominion.
I don't remember which one's the director's cut.
Dominion is the one I've seen.
Okay, so just throwing this
Probably
out there.
that one.
If you decide to watch this movie, make sure it's on a very rainy day
Uh-huh.
where it's really dark.
Mm-hmm.
You're here, you're home by yourself with all the lights off, and you're sick because it makes it so much better. I know.
Which isn't near as creepy as going to watch Annabelle Creation during a solar eclipse.
That's always fun. Can't wait for the next.
Well, that's when you go and buy your plants.
Ah, yeah.
No, I wouldn't.
Total eclipse of the sun.
Yeah, okay. I don't know. There were aspects of it. I had to split myself in two when I watch films nowadays because I have to look at it as I just love horror movies, and then I have to look at it as a filmmaker. So the general consumer side of me thought it was a decent film.
It's a mood piece.
It was kind of a
There's-
fun. Let's get some popcorn and just chill out kind of.
There's not much plot.
No,
it's
not much at
It
all.
is a mood piece.
And there's not a lot of character development.
Mm-mm.
And then the filmmaker side of me is like, well, I would have not. Yeah, that was kind of cool. Definitely wouldn't have done that.
What?
So, cake. Cake is a lie.
Worrying about eating another pork chop, and he's over there eating cake.
What? Oh,
Don't look at me that way, bitch.
yeah.
You look at that smile.
Don't make her get all possession on you.
Don't make me go all Hannah Grace on you.
Oh,
If I could do that, he would be in trouble.
Uh-oh.
Oh, Jack Burton from the Pork Chop Express.
Happy International Women's Day.
So,
Okay,
yeah.
so let me ask you guys. You guys have seen quite a few possession movies.
No.
Yep.
What's your favorite?
Autopsy of Jane Doe.
I would have to tie that with the original Exorcist.
Yeah, that too. Yeah.
What's the other Exorcist I saw?
3.
3. That's my favorite.
Yep.
I haven't seen the 3.
He's so good.
I need.
Exorcist.
You're supposed to bring it.
Last
Oh,
Exorcism
well,
was really good.
Last Exorcism is the only one, the other one that I would throw in there. I mean, if you count Conjuring as a possession movie, which it is, it's
It
good.
is.
yeah.
It becomes one.
Yeah.
It's a good one.
Yeah, I would have to say those. Why? What would be yours? Because you say you won't watch The Exorcist again.
Why
Of
the
course,
hell not?
I
Okay.
had to premise this with the
Time
fact
out.
that the version I owned was the director's cut that they called the version you've never seen before. Was the first one she watched.
Oh,
The one with
So
all the
this
smiling
was-
faces.
All the smiling faces and her coming down the stairs upside
And
down.
apparently
spider-web,
that was
spider-web.
that
actually
was the first one I ever watched.
Okay, so that's actually the second time I saw it. According to my mom, when it came out, I did actually see it. I just don't
You were
remember
2?
any of it.
yeah.
No, I was actually in my teens, and she rented it.
No, then that
And
wouldn't have been when it
watched
first
it.
came out because it came out in.
I think she means means when it came to video
Yeah.
for the first
okay.
time.
I was going to say, because
So,
it came out, what, 70?
She rented it and we watched it, and she said, I didn't sleep for a week. I don't remember any of this or any of the movie. So therefore, when we watched it, yeah, I saw the director's cut, and I was like, nope, done. Not gonna watch
The
it.
director's cut didn't
it's
come out until
73.
the 90s?
And I gotta
So-
say, it's having seen both of them because I saw the version you've never seen before first.
The director's cut.
That's the one I saw first.
I didn't like the movie for a while, and then I finally watched the original theatrical, and then I liked it.
She
my
got creeped out at the little
favorite-
That was not
face
Wedding at
pop-ups
Paul,
all
I
the time.
promise.
My favorite possession movies, I would actually have to say, recent ones would be the Autopsy of Jane Doe, and I still like Stigmata, but that was more,
Okay,
Now, I have to
it has
wonder-
elements of it.
it has elements of it. I mean, it's
Yeah.
not a full, it's kind of that halfway mark. It's not a full-on possession movie, but it kind of is.
I know we keep talking.
It goes for the feel good Hallmark vibe at the end, sort of almost.
Are you
A little
talking-
bit.
Are you saying Lifetime
But
Channel
if you
horror
watch
movies?
the alternate
Yeah,
version
kinda.
of the ending, it really kind of isn't.
It does, yeah. That's fair.
But we keep premising the Autopsy of Jane Doe as a possession film, but is it really? Because we find out at
Well,
the
she's
end
a
that
witch.
she was a witch.
And she
Don't
was cursed.
spoil a
and
movie we're not
afflicted it.
reviewing.
Well,
We already reviewed it.
We've already
We already
reviewed it.
reviewed
Strictly
it.
speaking, witches were all possessed.
They were all possessed and persecuted.
They were persecuted because they had allowed it to happen to themselves.
But was
Watch
it,
Unobscured. Listen to Unobscured.
oh,
Yes.
Sorry.
Yes.
Plug for Aaron Mankey. So.
Definitely.
By the way,
Fantastic.
Aaron Mankey, if you ever want to come on, we'll
Please,
totally,
please,
Please,
come on.
yes.
I
Oh my
love it.
God.
we would
We will
totally
fangirl
love
so
you.
hard.
I totally will.
Even Mike will definitely fangirl so hard.
Paul will just leave it home.
He loves Aaron Mankey. So
See, as Aaron Mankey is a novelist and writer, I don't think we could separate him and Paul from talking writing all the time.
I think Paul would be walking around dry hump again from behind. I'm just kidding. I'm teasing. I
We'll put a
promise.
shock collar on him. He'll be fine.
I'm just teasing.
I just pinch him. It'll be okay.
Just keep the super glue away.
Better watch out. Katie to pee on his leg.
Yep. I told him it would happen.
You told all of us it would happen. Katie's a little possessive.
Yeah, a little bit.
Just a little bit.
No,
How
not
fitting. We're
our
talking about the
precious-
possession of
I
Hannah Grace.
know.
Not our precious Katie. She would never be that.
Okay.
Shit.
So, yeah, the possession of Hannah Grace.
Yeah.
Final thoughts.
Meh.
Meh.
I hated it.
There we go. We finally got her to say.
Okay. So we got 3 mehs and I hated it. I will say,
It wasn't the worst possession
Decent.
movies I've ever seen.
I'll say decent.
For what it was, when it was, how it was done, it wasn't
If you're-
terrible, wasn't great. It was
Yeah.
just kind of meh.
If you're reviewing things based on the ambitions of the film, it achieves what it wanted to do.
Yes.
Right. It didn't put itself out there as a, Exorcist or
Yeah, it really didn't.
or anything like that.
Or
So-
even trying to be original, really.
No, not at
So,
all. It was like the possession of Hannah Grace. Get scared. Oh, well, okay, somewhat.
I've definitely seen worse movies of this type before.
Yes.
So that's the reason that I'm definitely more okay with this one.
Yeah. I mean, it's a good VOD rental.
We didn't say the tagline is
Tagline. Okay.
death is only the beginning.
No.
That is actually what
we
it
went
says.
into the Mummy.
Again?
Death is only the beginning.
How many movies have that tagline?
I don't know. The Mummy.
That never happened from reading a book.
I don't know that I'll remember any movie that has that tagline because I've seen it a lot.
Yeah, the other, there's 2 actually, and the other one is the most frightening thing about an exorcism is what happens next, which is
That one I can
more
kinda
That one's
aptly,
slightly better.
It kind of more to the point of the film.
death is only the beginning. The only beginning of what? What are we beginning?
It's a good thing they didn't say something like "death becomes her." What?
Death is only the beginning. What dreams may come.
Right? That's a great film. So,
Oh, wow.
so we didn't talk much about the main character.
No.
How does
No.
everybody feel about her?
No.
We
Heather Hagen
already
was-
talked about the fact that she did drugs and she
Yeah.
had depression
we talked
and
about
anxiety.
aspects.
We're going
of
to talk
her,
about the
but-
actress?
No.
I hate her.
Is there anybody you like, Katie?
Oh, yeah. I
She
like
likes
him.
me.
Oh, you like Paul?
Yeah.
Okay.
And
We-
me. She
we
likes me
never-
too.
we
Like
never-
also.
We never said who the actress is.
No,
You
No,
realize.
she's Shay Mitchell from Pretty Little Liars.
Okay,
Okay.
but she does like Dave.
No.
she didn't.
You didn't like Dave either?
No.
God, you heartless witch.
Did you like the other security guard?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, okay, there you go.
He was funny.
Yeah, because he was minding his own damn business.
That's
Yes,
why
he
Katie
was.
liked him.
True, he was.
Do I need to show you my ID? Do you work here? Then no.
Yep.
So, all right. So, Possession and Henry Grace. Check it out if you like a possession film and want a little fun. I mean, I think it was a little fun movie.
Bottle of vodka optional.
Yeah. You know,
But highly
get you
suggested.
some OxyContin. It might help. No, I don't.
Don't take drugs, children.
That's not
Do not
drugs.
mix. Do not mix drugs and alcohol. It's not a nice thing.
No, don't do that.
Don't do that.
What?
Nothing. Moving on. Moving on.
God.
Moving right along.
Okay, moving along. All right. So, don't forget to check us out on our website, fearcentral.net.
Yes.
There you can get links to every way you can subscribe to our show.
Yes.
And please do.
Yes.
Unfortunately,
Nobody answered
wanted
the question.
Nobody wanted to win a shirt.
Come on
so
now.
I got
Are
no
you kidding me?
response.
Answer
Oh.
the question,
Dude,
people.
we get to keep the shirt. We get to keep the shirt.
I already have 3. I don't need another one. Come
I
on.
know,
We
I
need to
know.
get rid of them. Come on. We want you guys.
Do you know how
So-
much it costs to print a damn shirt?
Actually, I do.
Okay,
She
yeah,
do.
but
Yeah.
you
She
do. But,
I do.
but they don't. So, I mean, you know.
Come on, we
We're
want some
taking a loss here.
interaction, guys. Come on, give us some feedback and
Yeah.
let us know what you want us to talk about.
Yeah, tell us.
Aaron Mankey, shout out, give us a call,
Please
Yeah,
do.
there you
please
go.
do. We
I want to know what your next season of Unobscured is about.
Oh my God.
Whatever it is, I bet it's obscure.
It's history.
Unobscured.
It's good history. So
I know, honey, but breathe.
It's not
Breathe.
obscure.
I don't get good
You-
history
you're just
often.
You don't get good history often.
No. I have
Well,
to buy good history.
History's not going anywhere.
Take Paul to
History's
some more
already there. It's not
museums.
going
They don't
anywhere.
have it in Texas. You have to go places for
there's no
that.
history in Texas. We're gonna have some words now. No.
Oh, hell, it's
A
on.
bachelor's in history in Texas
anyway.
sucks. So-
Remember the Alamo, but visit the Goliad.
yes. Thank you.
Anyway, you can also get to all of our social media.
through the website. Go
the
visit
website.
us.
Yes, come visit us. What are we doing next week, Katie?
Next week, we are starting a brand new 2-part series about asylum.
Dun, dun, dun.
Silence. So what we're doing is episode 1 is going to be pre-closure
Correct.
and how the horrors of what happened in those asylums
And
during
there
their
is a
openings.
ton.
Yes.
We'll talk about
Oh.
some specific ones that are just truly awful.
Yes.
Terrifying.
And then part 2 will be
Yes.
post-closure.
And we will talk
And-
about what people have seen in said places.
Yes.
Ooh, the haunting of. Dun, dun,
Hauntings,
dun.
hauntings of all the
And
asylums.
personal experiences. Fun times.
Woo woo. So don't forget to check us
I
out.
think Katie might need a little sleep over there.
Yes.
Paul, make sure she has sleep before the next podcast, please.
I'm just saying.
Just a tiny bit. So yeah, check us out. Over the next couple of episodes, we'll be talking about asylums, and then we're getting into another playcast after that. So lots of things coming up. We'll be giving opportunities to win more stuff later. So subscribe to us, give us a rating, give us some kind of a comment.
We know you're out there, for God's sakes.
Yeah.
We
Dave,
can hear your
Yeah.
heart.
Hashtag
Dave.
save Dave.
Yeah, like
Hashtag save Dave.
we know you're listening.
we
Come
love
on,
Save Dave.
guys.
Yeah. So we will see you all again
know what?
next week.
I got something.
Uh-oh.
Oh, Jesus.
What?
You know what? If they leave a comment, I bet you if we get them a signed shirt,
Are you signing it?
I think we all should.
Oh, from the cast.
What?
I think that would be an
We could
amazing.
sign.
Nobody
could
taught
sign.
me how to write.
I don't know how to
Oh my
write.
god!
Nope.
He knows how to
does
type.
not- right.
He could typecast his.
He can type.
You should see his love letters to me. He types.
Oh, no, I would prefer not to. Okay.
I mean, you can't read them.
You can just look at them from afar.
The only writing
wish
class
you
you
could
went
see.
to was how to write like a doctor. I got you. Okay.
I wish you could see how uncomfortable Paul is.
It's okay.
At this particular moment, he's like, please
Really?
don't show those
that,
to them.
That makes you
Oh
uncomfortable.
no, no one's seeing anything.
Okay.
So.
Well, she apparently has shown them to several people already. So
No. No one's read any of them.
Ooh, it's a throwdown. Here
No
we go.
throwing down. Okay.
Here we go.
Okay. Here we
All
go.
right, here we go.
All right.
In.
And we will see y'all again next week. And as always,
Stay scared.
Fear Central is a product of Thoughtbox Studios. For more information, visit thoughtboxstudios.com.